Gabriella, thank you for having this show. This is Monterosso Gallery. I want to talk about all my figures are about people, and particularly about that moment, that connection between how we live our interior lives, who we are as people, and how that shows in our gestures and our movements and our physical being. This woman was a model, and I really loved the way that she was so athletic and strong and beautiful, and held this pose. So I'm hoping that it shows some aspects of hers. It was a controversial piece in my critique class. The other work is all art history based, and so they have references to particular art historians and time periods. And these smaller figures are a lot of them from Manet, particularly the one about the luncheon in the grass. And I want them to be humorous. I want them to show the humor, but also the grandeur of the Easter Island figures. They were and are magnificent. In each case, I picked a different glaze because I like doing glaze experiments. So I have a big repertoire of glazes, and I throw out the ones that don't work, but this is an interesting textured glaze. Mostly, and that applies to my other work too, I want to add the element of humor.
Do you do them by hand?
They're all done by hand. These were solid built, which is quite typical for my work. So I would carve them out. I started with a small block for the shoulders, a small block sometimes for the head, and then they're all hollowed out and put back together. So they are hollow, even though the base is solid here. I wanted the colors to go together as well, so I picked amongst my glazes colors that will work together, not just individually.
I would just say make 10 marks, 10 big marks, and I count them out, and then we would that's the way we'd start the drawing. 10 marks, and then step back, look at it, and then problem solve. Figure out what works and what doesn't, because that's really what drawing and painting and making art is all about, is making a bunch of wrong marks that you can correct and find the ones that work, that operate the way they're supposed to in terms of defining the form in space or the space around it.
I think another thing that's really important to me is education.
because I feel like when we're willing to destroy work, we know how to bring it back to life again because we know what's required in order to make a piece work.
And I think that art history
Absolutely.
references and the structure of paintings, the structure of artwork, the intent, all those things are things you learn in school.
Education is the critical link, in my opinion, that teaches us how to think and leverage and decide what works for us and develop our own language, because painting and sculpture for you is your language. When I was teaching, it was very hard for beginning students to sit in front of the model and start making marks on her.
She's not timid, she is wild.
Oh.
She's powerful and strong.
I love Goldens.
Yes, so that one reminds me of her. She's just
Okay.
she's our third golden.
Well, we had 3 as well.
Yeah.